Hey all, welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here. Yesterday we saw the futures for indices were very positive pre-market, but still the QQQ ended down more than a percentage point, but many of our genomic stocks did well. So it's a mixed bag as such. Let's see what's in store for us today. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. The Fed meeting is ongoing and are expected to announce the fourth 75 basis point hike. While what the market actually expects is dovish guidance going forward, apart from having a 75 basis point hike, and that would be an acknowledgement of the risk of recession if aggressive rate hikes continue. Three possibilities exist now. First, the Fed does not make any dovish signals, but increases the rates by 0.75%, in which case the market may give up the gains that it has had recently. The second possibility is that the Fed does a 75 basis point hike and makes a dovish statement that will sustain the market trajectory at this point of time and give a little bit of green. And the third possibility is very, very remote and may involve any hike less than 75 basis point, and that could make markets go crazy. And I don't think the third possibility is likely to happen, but it's still a possibility because in Canada, instead of 75 basis point hike, the Federal Reserve of Canada did a 50 basis point hike. That's why I can even think about it. At the time of recording, the index futures were all red and mildly bearish. In other words, they were slightly red and they could turn green anytime. So they are in the Goldilocks zone at this point of time. We don't know what's going to happen. So let's check out what's happening in the pre-market price action and look at whether we can get any clues out there. Let's get into the TradingView platform now. Well, friends, here we are in our NASDAQ futures chart. This is each of these candles are one-day candle, and we are firmly on the diagonal line of support, which forms the bull channel within the overall bearish context for NASDAQ futures, as you can see here. So we are in a bear rally at this point of time, and we have got support from the diagonal line of support, as I mentioned earlier, and we have a resistance right now from the 10-day simple moving average. If we break through this, then our next resistance is going to be 11,597.00. And as always, I'd like to caution that when we have a pennant like this or a wedge forming on a downward trajectory where the price trend is downward trend and a pennant forms, then the pennant usually leads to prices going down. But there could be fundamental news which can potentially break this spell and make us go upwards. And you also have the head and shoulder formation potentially happening out here. So we'll see what happens. One of the reasons why it's very difficult to do technical analysis is that once the patterns are formed, you can look back and say, yeah, that it was. But while the patterns are forming, it's not clear what the pattern is going to end up being. And by the time the pattern is completely formed, the direction is already set. So we are trying to guess what would happen. So you can look at this as a shoulder and this as a shoulder and this as the head. And in which case we should look at the share prices going up. But if we looked at this diagonal, this pennant, which has been formed here on a downward trending price trend, then the theory would say that we're going to break downwards. So that's what I would like to say when it comes to NASDAQ futures. Let's look at the indicators. US oil is down marginally by 0.16%, still being held up by the support at 88. The MACD is bullish and the momentum is above average but flat. So hopefully we drop a little bit on the oil so that the inflationary pressures can be settled a little. Now let's go and look at QQQ. QQQ was down 1.02 yesterday, and it's up 0.16% pre-market. And our support, which was at 278.43, is now converted into a resistance thanks to yesterday's action, where we dropped almost a percentage point. And our support, which was at the 10-day simple moving average, 276.28, is now a resistance. So our next support is going to be 273.52. Right now we're at 275.62. S&P 500 was down 0.44% yesterday. It's up 0.10% today. MACD is bullish. Momentum is still above average, but pointed downwards. And we have a situation where our diagonal line of support for the bull channel is going to be tested today, because right now we are at 384.91. and the bull channel is at 385.26. So I'll wait for the market open to happen and see where the candle forms, and if we are above this diagonal line of support, we are fine. If not, then our next support is going to be 381.55, and also the 50-day simple moving average, which is this thick orange line, which is sitting at 382.06. MACD is bullish and momentum is above average but pointed downwards. IWM Russell Index was up 0.14% yesterday, it's down 0.8% today, and therefore the support we had at 183.72 is now a resistance, because right now we are at 183.44. Our next support is going to be the 100-day simple moving average, which is this thick blue line, and it's sitting at 178.84. MACD is bullish, momentum is above average, but it's a bit flat. It needs to pick up, and we have Dow Jones, which was down 0.31% yesterday, and it's got no trades at this point of time. I'm recording at 7:16 a.m. and we have support from the 200-day simple moving average at 326.23, and the market closed yesterday at 326.41, just slightly above it. So if we sustain there, then our resistance is going to be the diagonal line of support that we had for the previous bull channel. If we fall down, then our next support is going to be at 319.98. RSI was overbought. That's the reason why we had a bit of giving yesterday. But once we open in the market, and if we are slightly below the RSI, then we could move sidewards, hit the RSI level of 70, and then come back down again. In the past, we have been up to 75.12, so there is a possibility that we could go up a little bit before we come down again. In any way, it seems like we are going to have some consolidation. Wix is up 1.51% today, pre-market. Yesterday it was down, but today it's above yesterday's level, and it indicates that there's going to be a downward pressure on the indices. US dollar index is down 0.21%, so it's consolidating out here, and I think that as the US dollar index goes down, funds get released from the US dollars and they go into gold and stocks and other things. So this is positive for the stock market. So we have US dollar index giving a positive impetus, whereas the VIX is indicating a negative impetus, and the oil price action is undecided at this point of time. So everything depends on what happens with the Fed. Let us look at the index movers. Microsoft was down yesterday 1.71%. Today it's up 0.04%. That's not much to go by. We still have resistance at the 10-day simple moving average of 236.69. Apple was down 1.75% yesterday, and today pre-market it's down -0.52. Amazon was down 5.52% yesterday, and today it's down 0.4. It's up 0.45%. That's not much to write home about. We still have this gap to be filled up. Google was down 4.39% yesterday. It's up 0.33%, which again is not too much to talk about. So it seems on balance, most of the index moving stocks are going to pull the index down unless we get some positive news from the Fed. And when you look at commodities, wheat is finally down a little bit at -0.21%. Copper is marginally up 0.41, still consolidating in a range. And if you look at genomics, I'm just going to sort the index so that we can get the leaders in the market up there. Invitae was the biggest winner with a gain of 10.85%, in which process it also converted the resistance at 2.56 into a big support. So Invitae is doing great, but pre-market today it's down -1.05%. So we are going to have support out here from 2.56, as well as from our 10-day simple moving average, which is at 2.31, and also our 50-day simple moving average, which is at 2.75, and also our 100-day simple moving average, which is the thick blue line, which is at 2.81, because pre-market we are at 2.83. So there is a whole lot of support. So the risk of falling down is lesser as compared to the opportunity of going up and challenging our resistance at 4.04. Of course, we are not going to jump to 4.04, but I'm seeing positive movement later on for Invitae in case we have decent news from the Fed. PSEB was up 4.38% yesterday, and today pre-market it's up 1.38%. Again, in the process of forming the handle out here, as I mentioned, friends, we have a target of 11.20 for PSEB. Allogene was up 2.62% yesterday, no trades pre-market. IMTX was up 2.48% yesterday, no trades pre-market. SQZ Biotech was up 2.46% yesterday, no trades pre-market. Editas was up 1.59% yesterday, and pre-market we are down minus 3.98%. We still have a resistance which is going to be at 13.14, and we still have a support which is the 10-day simple moving average at 11.49. And if we look at the MACD, it is bullish. Momentum is also above average, so the chances of Editas going positive is higher than the chances of it going down. Bluebird was up 1.28% yesterday, and it's down 2.20% today, pre-market, and there is no new news. We are waiting for news regarding SkySona and the funding. And ARCG was up 1.27% yesterday, no trades pre-market. And we have PSTX, that is Posida, which is a new addition to our watch list. It was up 0.98% yesterday, no trades pre-market. We still continue to have resistance at 4.43 and a support at the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line which is sitting at 4. Intelia was up 0.81% yesterday, no trades pre-market. In the process, we still have resistance at 53.99, and we still have support at the 10-day simple moving average at 51.69. And if you look at Beam, it was up 0.68% yesterday, no trades pre-market. And in IDNA was up 0.40% yesterday, no trades pre-market. DNA was up 0.37% yesterday, and pre-market it's already down 0.36%. Our support continues to be at 2.68, and as I mentioned, friends, I'm waiting for it to drop down and come closer to 2.33 so that I can pick it up. And we still have support from the 10-day simple moving average, which is at 2.63. There are a lot of positive news going on for DNA, so the chances of it falling down further is very low. But I'm going to hold on, because it's a volatile market, I'm going to hold on to see if I get an opportunity to catch it at least below 2.68. And then we have CRISPR Therapeutics, which was down 0.61% yesterday with no trades pre-market. And as you can see, we are still in the bear channel, and we are forming this pennant out here with the support that we have here at 52.13. In a downward trend, if you have a pennant, then we are likely to fall downwards rather than going upwards. The only thing that can change that is going to be some kind of a good news from the Fed. Caribou Biosciences was down 0.62% yesterday, no trades pre-market. Teladoc was down 2.56% yesterday, and pre-market we are up 0.24%, which is not much to write home about, but we still have support from the 50-day simple moving average sitting at 28.42, and our resistance is going to be the 100-day simple moving average sitting at 32.75. Verve was down 0.34% yesterday, and there is no trades pre-market as such. We still have support from the 50-day simple moving average, which is this thick orange line sitting at 35.05. Illumina was down 4.23% yesterday, and pre-market there are no trades, and the handle is getting formed, my friends. Today I would like us to move sidewards and then start moving up, and that will form the handle, and then we have to look forward to reaching the target of 271.56. Right now the MACD is still bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is falling sharply, but it's still above average, so I'm still hoping for some good news which can allow us to consolidate and then move up. With that said, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end, and if you like this video, please do not hesitate to press the like out there. It helps the channel. And if you have not yet subscribed, I request you to not only subscribe but also press the notify button so that you get to know all the videos that we publish. We publish 2 videos daily. One is the market action in the morning, it's the morning show, and the second happens also in the morning around 10 o'clock. And in that we take a particular company or a particular event that's happening in the genomics sector and expand on it. So it's very interesting in this channel. We have a lot of fresh new contents. Please consider subscribing and pressing the notify button. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.